All right now everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got a recipe idea today, beef stroganoff. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, and make a bunch of good food. Here we go, let's dive into this. I got everything laid out here. I'm just going to kind of show me making this recipe in real time. So I'm going to go over the ingredients that I have and listen up. So here we go. The main thing you're going to need for a beef stroganoff is some beef. So I'm just using this, my butcher happens to have some nice thinly cut beef steak. You could use any kind of steak beef, just cut it thin, cut it into cubes, whatever you like. It'll work. Just get some nice beef cubes or finely cut beef in there. And I got some mushrooms here. Now you don't have to put mushrooms in it if you don't like them or you don't have mushrooms. You can still make a nice little beef and onion sauce and put it over some noodles or rice or whatever. And I got an onion slice up. You just want kind of a medium-sized onion. I got 2 small ones. However much onion you think you're like. None of this is an exact science. I don't know. I got about a pound of beef, a couple small onions, and a little tray of mushrooms. I don't measure anything. I just kind of do it by feel. I've done it enough that I kind of know. And then I like to serve mine on some egg noodles is what I got. So we're gonna use egg noodles, and as a matter of fact, let's get those going right now. I got the water boiling, and I got some salt in that water. And let's get my noodles. Get it moving on the noodles there. All right, we got some noodles going. Now, you're also gonna need some beef broth, and that's one of the important things. You want to find a good beef broth. I think this one is actually great value, and it's a decent beef broth. It actually tastes like beef or au juice or whatever. I've had some store-bought beef broths that were absolutely terrible. I'm not going to say names, but it tasted like hot dog water. I don't know if that particular company owns a hot dog factory and they're selling, repurposing hot dog broth or what, but there are some very bad beef broths out there. So you're going to need to find one that actually tastes like a decent beef broth or bone broth or whatever. But so you're going to need some beef broth, and I got some butter, some Worcestershire sauce, and garlic and salt and pepper and flour. That's pretty much the gist of the main things you're going to need there. So I got my noodles going. Let me get a timer on those for 10 minutes. All right, so that's pretty much the gist of most of the ingredients. I'm going to add a little Lowry salt on the beef. You can just use salt and pepper, whatever you want. Season the beef up a little bit. You could use salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. But I'm just going to throw some Lowry salt on it. Anyways, I'm going to move in here and just kind of show you a close-up view of the pan and the cooking. And I'm just going to kind of make this recipe in real time. So thanks for watching, and I'll show you how this is done. It's a nice little meal. Here we go. All right, so I got my pan warmed up here. Going to put a little bit of oil in the pan. I'm going to use olive oil today. You could certainly just use whatever seed oil you prefer, canola or whatever. So I'm going to use olive oil just because it's on YouTube, and we're going to go high quality today. All right, so next thing you're going to do is throw your onions in there and get those things caramelizing a little bit. All right, I'll be back when the onions are done. This is going to take too long. It's going to be about 5 minutes. Give me a second here. All right, now those onions have gotten a little browned up here for a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and throw these mushrooms in and start sweating the water out of these shrooms. And then we'll add our beef here shortly. So there we go. We got the mushrooms and the onions. I'm gonna just heat these up, sweat a little bit of water out of them. Like I said, I'm repeating myself, and then we'll throw the beef in there, get everything seasoned up, and move on. I'll be right back with you shortly. All right, now everybody, I put a little bit of salt in there to help those mushrooms sweat out the water a little bit, and it's time to add the beef in there. So we got that beef, and I I put some seasoned salt on those mushrooms. Now this is obviously a salt, so it will help with the bring out some of the water. I'm going to season the meat with that too. So there we go. We got our meat in here going with the mushrooms and onions, and let's just brown that up. And I'll be back with you guys once this meat is browned up, and we'll move on. I'm going to add a dash of this Worcestershire right on that meat to flavor it, and this pan needs a little bit of moisture in it. So there we go. Put a little bit of that in there. Alright, I'll be back with you guys as soon as this meat is done browning up here. Let me show you what we got. Everything's moving along nicely. If you can see through the steam, it's looking good. So, see you shortly. Alright, now we're moving on here with our stroganoff now, and that beef is browned up and everything's ready to go. So right before we add the broth, we'll put a little garlic in there. I don't know, whatever, a teaspoon, couple forkfuls, whatever, just get some nice garlic in there. And one of the things I've learned over the years is you don't really want to, the garlic doesn't really need to cook much. You just need to get it in there and warm it up. Don't overdo it on the garlic. So that's right on the bottom of the pan, just getting some heat into it. And I'm just going to now pour my beef broth right in on top of all of that. So again, there's no measurement on this. It just depends on how much sauce you want. You just need enough to cover everything up, and if you want it to be real saucy, you could certainly add extra beef broth. This was not a brand new container. I had poured about a quarter or a half a cup out of there, so whatever that is, I just put some of that in there. Now let's warm this up here. And we'll be adding some flour to thicken this up, and some Worcestershire sauce and some things like that. And this is where the magic happens. So just put that in there, and we'll let that kind of start warming up a little bit. Add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce too. If you want, you could go ahead and add that now. And then you're going to want to check it at the end, and if it's not kind of tangy enough, it doesn't have that tang, it tastes kind of flat, add some Worcestershire sauce, add some salt, and it'll get that nice, good, tangy stroganoff flavor. So here we go. Let me get that warmed up, and let me get my flour ready. I need to get my flour sifter out here and get ready with my flour, and we'll add that in there, and then this just needs to let the flour cook for 5-10 minutes and thicken up and everything, and then we'll be on our way. So hold on one second while I get my strainer ready for the flour. Alright, now everybody, it's time to add that flour in, and also I want to add a little fresh ground pepper in here. I forgot to show you all that. We'll put a little pepper in there, get that cooking. And so let's add our flour in here. We're going to use a sifter so it doesn't clump up on us. And I just put usually about 3 big spoonfuls in. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. That's probably more than, I might have just put too much. If I put too much, I'll have to come back and add a little more beef broth in there. So this is how I like to add my flour so it doesn't clump. And I thought I was ready, and I'm not. That's not what I use for flour. So yeah, I might have too much flour with 4 spoonfuls, so we'll see. We'll see here. Let's just check it out. I might not put all this flour in there. There's 2 schools of thought on that. Like I said, you could, yeah, it's already getting thick. You could add more beef broth or don't add all the flour. Either way you look at it. I got a mess on my hands. Alright, so I think that was too much flour. Let me see here. Alright, we're doing alright there. I don't want to add more beef broth because I got to open up a new container, and I just don't want to do that right now. I'm going to try to work with what I got. So So that'll be all right. That was probably about 3 spoonfuls of flour. So there we go. Yeah, we got some nice texture in there now. That'll be about good. Okay, everybody, we're looking pretty good here. I'm going to hold off on adding salt to that because I've put so much seasoned salt in there, the Worcestershire sauce. Just let me get it all kind of finished up here with the butter and everything, and then we'll taste it. It may need a little salt, may need a little Worcestershire. It is going to get more Worcestershire coming right up. So Mavi is wanting her food, so let's take care of Mavi real quick. Come get some food. All right, it's summertime. Mavi needs to stay hydrated, so we add a little water in there. Here you go, girl. All right, like I said, I'm just going to add just a couple dashes of Worcestershire in there. It's really doing pretty good. I just tasted it. It's doing all right. So we'll add that in there. We'll put a little butter in there, finish it off. And you can see the texture there. It's looking pretty good. That'll be real nice over some noodles, or you could serve it over rice if you wanted to. Now, I am pretty much done with the cooking part. Let me let this butter melt and just kind of stir it around and taste it for flavor. Make sure it has enough salt, enough Worcestershire, all that, and we're going to be ready to serve this. I like to serve it with a little bit of sour cream on top sometimes. I have added sour cream into the pot there, the pan, whatever it is. The thing with sour cream is it's cold, so if you throw it in that hot pan, it'll separate on you. I have experimented with warming the sour cream up to where it's just warm and then mixing it in slowly, and it doesn't separate as bad. I'm not going to throw it in there today on YouTube and cold and have it separate and look like a dingbat. So I'll just put a little sour cream on top of it, and it's just as good for me. So there we go with that. Let me finish this up real quick. All right, everybody, there we go. So there's our beef stroganoff, looking good. And that is delicious. Like I said, I didn't use any expensive wine or anything crazy. You can make this right at home, just need a little beef broth. Not a hard thing to do, and it's very delicious. Speed this along, and Mavi's out here and she's about to hit the tripod. I'm about to... All right, little girl. Okay.